We're live. Hello, this is Howard Owens, publisher of the Batavian. We're doing another live stream interview to help you keep better informed about what's going on in our community in these unusual times. And today, or this evening, we have with us Shawn Heubusch, City of Batavia Police Chief. So I just made the same mistake I make every time, not have the right screen active. There you go. So, hi, Shawn. How's it going?
How's everybody doing?
Good. Thanks for being on with us. I know you're very busy. I appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule. So, first of all, maybe just catch us up on what the police procedures are for dealing with the public under these circumstances.
Yeah. So as we put out in our announcement, we are. The police station is actually locked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week now. However, there is a phone in our lobby that goes directly to our dispatch center. So if you do show up at the police station looking for assistance, just pick up the phone to the left of the door. It'll go right to the dispatch center. Dispatch will dispatch the appropriate resources for you. Which is obviously that's a big change. People are used to coming to the station between the hours of 8:30 and 4:30 at night to pick up reports or report a crime or whatever that may be, something that's not in progress that we don't get dispatched for 911. Aside from that, we do have staff that are working remotely from home. The governor has directed all employers to reduce their work staff, and there's a mandate on municipalities specifically to do so. So we do have our records clerk is working remotely. We're working on getting all that set up now so people can get their background checks, their FOIL requests, whatever they may need, their request for a report in a timely fashion. And my personal secretary is also working from home to keep up the day-to-day activities that we need to take care of.
Just a second. So, Chief, that's great. Now, of course, your officers, they deal a lot, interact a lot with the public. So there's two components, keeping your officers safe, keeping the public safe. Explain to us what's going on there.
So we've asked the officers have been issued a department cell phone at this point in time to handle all the calls that they can potentially handle over the phone. So when you call into dispatch and tell them what your issue is, they will inform the officer and make a decision whether they can contact you via phone to lodge your complaint and take further information, and then follow up from there, or if it actually needs an in-person response. We do ask that when the officers respond in person, if the complainant or person that's looking to speak with them can come outside on the front porch or out on the sidewalk to talk to them, just so we can maintain that 6 foot distance that we're encouraging the public to maintain, so those social distancing standards. If it's an in-progress call where it's an emergency, our officers will respond as normal. There'll be no change in protocol or procedure, other than they're going to be very vigilant and very aware that they're trying to maintain that safe space, not just for our officer, but for the community in general.
I'm sure you're instructing the public to inform. I know that people are being instructed to inform dispatchers if there's anybody symptomatic. How are you handling that? And what if somebody's symptomatic and you've got a situation you've got to respond to?
So again, the dispatchers are asking those screening questions, especially in those high risk situations. However, our officers are responding to those situations just as they would any other. They're probably taking a little more precaution, just given the circumstances that we're dealing with right now. But our officers have always been very cognizant of the officer safety issues surrounded with interacting with the public and any type of communicable disease that is out there. We get training along those lines, ongoing training to mitigate those for our purposes. So, we do have some PPE that the officers use on a regular basis, whether it's the latex gloves or the N95 masks, if they're given that information that there's, possibly a person that's under suspicion of being, a carrier of the COVID-19. So our dispatchers are making the screening and giving that information to the officers in the field as much as they can in real time.
How are you doing on supplies of masks and hand sanitizer?
So we're doing okay at this point. We did receive some of the sanitizer from our friends over at the Emergency Management Office, Tim Yeager and his group. They received a shipment in from the state, I believe, either yesterday or today, so we were able to secure some of that. We keep a pretty good stockpile of supplies. Otherwise, when it comes to the gloves and masks, et cetera, we had City Fire over here yesterday helping us with fit testing for the N95 masks, which have to be done to make sure that they're used correctly. So every officer has been issued their own N95 mask, and everybody has a cache of the disposable gloves as always.
Great. That's good to hear. So one of the things about, we've got the restaurants are supposed to be closed. We're trying to keep large groups from congregating. And when the directives came out, there was mention that if these directives were not obeyed, it'd be up to either the police, even the fire department, health department to enforce that. Just maybe talk about what's your role in quote-unquote enforcing, if that's not too strong of a word, social distancing. If you come across a large congregation of people, how are your officers supposed to respond to how do you handle all that?
Yeah, so that's a difficult one. There is a mandate for, there's restaurants, obviously, those large gathering places, not to have more than 50 people. And I think, for the most part, the restaurants and the bars are supposed to be closed except for takeout. That really doesn't fall under the purview of the police department to enforce. It falls under code department or the health department, and we will certainly assist in that endeavor if we need to. Right now we're seeing that people are being cooperative, and they're not disobeying this mandate out of the governor's office at this point in time. So it hasn't become a real issue. We see groups of kids wandering around or maybe in the park, but aside from that, we're not seeing large gatherings.
Okay, that's good to hear. So if one thing I'm curious about is like how things have maybe changed call volume wise, different kinds of calls. Has this changed kind of like what your police officers are dealing with in the community at all? Or you notice any kind of cultural changes locally, anything like that? Societal changes?
Yeah, so I took a look at our call volume, actually, did a comparison between last week and this week, and we haven't completed a full week yet. Our calls seem to be down. I wouldn't say they're markedly down. We are seeing a little less foot traffic, obviously, with the doors being locked, so people aren't able to come in, and some people are seeing that the doors are locked and they're walking away. We certainly don't want that. Just pick up the phone and we're available. But with that being said, I haven't seen a real shift at this point in time. And obviously, dealing with the administrative side of things, I'm not as in touch with what the officers are dealing with on the street. But I can tell you, I haven't heard any big shift in the type of calls or call volume at this point in time. Time will tell. We'll see what happens as this thing goes on. I'll be doing comparisons almost on a daily, if not or on a regular basis, to understand what the call volume is tracking like.
Great, Chief. Is that how's officer morale?
It's not too bad. Everybody is doing their best. They understand that we have a job to do. We're considered essential personnel when it comes to these type of issues or conditions that exist. I think everybody is just looking to see when the end of this is going to be, and how far away that may be. There's a lot of personal angst as well, I think, amongst everybody, which is understandable, and I certainly, I'm concerned, for your own family, your own loved ones. But I think they're here to do the job, and they're going to make sure they serve the community the best that they possibly can.
I'm sure that's correct. I know from my own experience dealing with officers, like a lot of us in different professions, we're doing what we're trained to do, what we love to do, and we take it very seriously. And I know I see that in your police officers all the time. So I don't have any further questions. Is there anything else you wanted to add? Anything else you wanted to share with the community?
No, not at this point. We just ask that if any new orders or directives come out, we ask the community to cooperate and heed to those warnings or directives. This life has to go on, and we understand that. We're trying to operate as normally as we can. We're in a new norm now. A lot of the things that we're doing are being done remotely. But we just ask for the public's patience, and we certainly are here to serve you the best that we can. It may be a different type of service, or it may get delivered differently, but we're going to make sure that we're here to answer the call when we possibly can and deliver the best service we can. But we just ask that the public have some patience, and we're all in this together. There's nobody immune from this, and we thank you for your support. We've seen an outpouring of it so far, between people dropping off food or dropping off a nice note or just calling, give us some thanks. So we appreciate that. It's well appreciated.
Great, Chief. I really appreciate your time today. Again, I know you're busy, and we had to work this in at the end of the day. I appreciate it. And so I'm just going to sign off now. This is Howard Owens, publisher of the Batavian. Another live interview we're bringing you exclusively on the Batavian. If there are people in the community you would like to hear from, let us know. We'll try to get them online. And again, Chief, thank you very much.
Thank you.